It's not easy, but it's definitely worth it. And I'm saying that because the line of work I'm in, being a designpreneur, being able to scale it to 5 figures a month, being able to work with, the best brands out there, the best, artists out there, etc. It comes with a lot of things that people right away they don't really get, or they don't think it's something that designer has to deal with. And being a creative, in in all honesty, is one of the hardest jobs to have. Not because of how hard the skill set per se is, but it's also that you need to be able to convey to people why your skill set is what they should be paying more for, or why they should be paying good amounts of money for. So it's not just, being a creative, being able to go on Photoshop and get something together and throw it on a t-shirt. Is also the branding that comes with it. Is also how you're able to package and sell it to people, which creatives are notoriously known for not being good at showcasing the value that people can get. That's why you have so many creatives out there that undercharge. They're not able to make this their full-time income, let alone scale to 5 figures a month. In this video, I'm gonna go and kind of address a few very personal topics when it comes to doing this to the level that I've been able to scale to, and also doing this whilst being, um, just out of university, etc., and how really that has impacted my, day to day life, and also my life outside of design. So, as a beginner, of course, you're not able to really see ahead of the road when it comes to the clients that you're going to work with, the demand that you're going to have, and also if it's actually going to work. So, there's a sense of uncertainty that, in a way, will never leave you, especially as long as you do this on your own as an entrepreneur, as a designpreneur, that will really kind of make you always be on your toes and make you always, you know, ready, and also looking out for ways to improve your work. And I think that's what pushes many people that are self-employed or don't have a normal job. You never know. Like, or what could happen to your certain industry, the demand, your clientele. They could go and, find another designer to work with. So there's always a sense of urgency. But as a beginner, of course, you're living off the momentum, and you're kind of like, you're not even sure if this is going to work. But once you start working, there's a sense of uncertainty to keep up with the level that you be able to scale to. So uncertainty is a feeling that I had to get accustomed to. Now, yeah, I'm still getting accustomed to, simply because, yes, I've been doing this to a certain level. Yes, I do have a solid clientele, but every month it starts from zero. So as a beginner designer, if you're going into this, be aware of this feeling that you might see just come up out of nowhere once you get on your feet. But it's a feeling that you really have to get used to. The other point I want to address is demand. Demand might seem like something positive, which it is. Overall, is very positive. But once you more of establish, demand is always going to be there, because your skill set is so unique, your brand is so unique, that people will choose you even if you had the same skill set as a beginner designer starting out. But just because you have that magic number of like followers and views, etc., people will still come to you. But demand can be equally overwhelming as not having no demand, or having, no clientele. It can have that same feeling of, am I doing this right? Am I going in the right direction? Am I choosing the right projects, or am I choosing the wrong project to work on? Personally, for me, it's been like a couple of months since that kind of like overwhelming feeling has come really through. Simply because now I really have to be sure of the brands I'm working with. I really need to be make sure, and sometimes I really have to, say no to certain opportunities, simply because they don't really fit where I think my graphic design and where I'm building my designpreneur business too, that working with a certain brand I don't think is gonna add anything new to my portfolio, you know? So that's something I always keep in mind, especially because the demand can be overwhelming. The demand can be overwhelming. Some people might take it personally when you're not able to work on their project, you're not able to help them with their brand, etc. Once you get to a certain point with your designpreneur business, that you really have to be meticulous about the people that you're working with. The other thing that you need to bear in mind also is that you're going to get tested. You're going to get tested by other designers that might try to copy your work and claim as theirs. You know, you're gonna get tested from certain clientele. You're gonna get tested by different factors that is very hard to predict, and you just have to really take as they come your way. You know, you always have to be sharp. You always have to be on your toes. You always, of course, is a privilege being able to have people that try to copy your work. It does get to a point where is not for good intentions. Of course, they're just trying to claim they work your work as theirs, or like a certain flow that you started, a certain way that you go about creating your artwork or showcasing your skill set and trying to claim it as theirs. So like there's all different components that as a beginner, because people don't know you or people don't see any potential in you, you won't have those problems you won't have. But as you get more experience, bigger following, etc., people will try and people will test you. You always have to keep in mind, and that's what I tell myself, like always keep in mind that is business, is never personal, never take stuff personally. And that's what I tell myself, like is business, just one up them, change up your flow, try to keep the standard. And also that's something I believe as well, is that no matter what you do, like nobody can really take your flow away. Like they will know, is Emmanuel that started this, or like is Emmanuel that did this, or they know where the real creative are. Nobody can steal your flow because they can't replicate you. The last but not the least is that you have to be more than a creative. And I know it's quite funny because already being a creative is hard, but now you also have to be more than a creative. And what I mean by that is, when I started out, of course, I didn't have the problems that I had now, or the problems that I have now. Or of course, like I mentioned, the demand and other people, trying to test here and there, and like other competitors, etc. Those problems, of course, at the start you don't have them, but later on you really have to make that transition from being just a creative, because when you're starting out, what people will know you for is like your creations, but later on as well they will associate to you different things that are outside of design. Your character, who you are as a person, what events are you going to, what you showcase, etc. You have to make that transition from just being a creative to being like a full blown like brand. In more detail about what I mean by that is that not only become, yes, a good creative, but also you need to be able to transform yourself into different characters. And of course, especially like when it comes to your business per se, you're not only a creative, so you're making designs and but as soon as you clear Photoshop, you have to be good at customer service. You have to be good at posting content. So now you're a content creator. So you have to wear all this different jobs descriptions. So is one person, is one entity, is you, but you are different jobs. And of course, once you get good following, a good income coming in, you can outsource those different things. But to really understand and being able to outsource all these different job descriptions, you have to be able to understand them yourself. So that's something that I'm realizing now. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not just a creative. I'm more than a creative. So and that's strictly, when it comes to the business. When it comes to, of course, outside of business, the brand that you are, yes, you are a graphic designer per se, but you're also somebody that posts content, that's somebody that travels. So like you have to showcase also to be relatable in a way, I guess, what you do on a daily basis. What do you think about certain? I'm not too political when it comes to what I tell people, or like what I showcase, but in certain, if a world event happens, I'll also showcase what I think about it. I don't do that too much, but and that's a deliberate decision. But the certain times that I've used, some ward events as, as marketing in a way, so you always have to be kind of able to step out of your creative persona, creative ego, to become also, like I was saying, a content creator, and also showcase a different side of you. Because people, yes, relate to your work, and they can see your work, but they want to see also something else, because they get bored of always showcasing, seeing your work and seeing, making t-shirts. They want to see more about you, especially when you build a good following and a strong community as well. And hopefully, this video has been insightful and has given you guys a raw reality on what a graphic designer, that's been able to scale to 5 figures, it really entails.